I'll start by first of all asking Adam to give us a summary of what we've discussed today, major point he has picked, and then I'm sure Charles would have done same, but for his background issue. So Adam, let's hear you.
Okay, so we started with communication, and then we took an example of students wanting to call home and get something. So from that, we derive a definition of communication as the transfer of information from the sender to the receiver with the aim of creating a common understanding between them. So we also made the point that communication is complete when there is feedback from the receiver. Then we went again to the communication process. So the communication process was to conceive the idea, push the idea, selection of the suitable transmission of the message, and reception and decoding of the message. So we said that the reception and decoding of the message is done by the receiver. Then the final step is to obtain feedback from the recipient. Then we went to the channels of communication. So we got the definition of channels of communication to refer to the pathway or the flow of information from one, within an organization. So we went to the types, I think. That is the vertical communication, horizontal and diagonal. So you said that the vertical can be two forms, upward or downwards. The vertical communication is the movement of information from the superior to the subordinate, or from the subordinate to the superior.
Okay.
So the key difference here was there's a difference in authority. That's
Okay.
like a keyword I noted here.
Yeah,
So
that's very true.
the horizontal, so the horizontal communication. So that is movement of information from individuals within the same level of authority. And then
Okay.
diagonal involves a movement of information from superior of a different department and then the subordinates of a different department. So
Okay.
here the key note here is that there is the involvement of departments.
Okay.
Yes. Then we were looking at the uses of vertical communication. So, so basically, the first one, which is upward vertical communication, is from the subordinate to the superior. So the uses is like example, we stated seeking clarification on the job assignment, then conveying grievances, I think yes, and then finally offering a suggestion. Yeah. So
Okay.
I didn't get the notes for the downwards. So that is where I have.
Oh, okay. 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 That's the uses of the downward. Okay. That is here. Awesome. So I think you summarized the key points for us very well. And as you said, communication is, exchange of information, right? But we said that for communication to be complete, there should be feedback from the receiver or recipient. If the receiver does not provide feedback, there is chaos in the process, right? So communication would have to end well by a feedback from the recipient or receiver. I think I gave an example. If you call your friend on phone and you say, hello, can you meet me at 2 p.m.? And then the person doesn't say anything, doesn't respond. What have you achieved? Nothing. Because as to whether he will come at 2 p.m. or not, you will not know. You'll be in doubt, right? You would only be satisfied if he or she tells you, okay, yes, I'll meet you at 2 p.m. or no, I'll not meet you. Then you have a definite decision being taken there, right? So it's the exchange of information, or is a transfer of information from one source to another. And the first source is the sender, who conceives the idea, encodes it, select an appropriate or suitable medium to transfer the message, right, or the information. And then the receiver decodes on receiving that and also provide feedback. So if you look at it, it's like the sender will do 1, 2, 3, and then the recipient will do 2. So the recipient decodes and also provide feedback. Okay. Now, I was talking about the various flow or direction of information that is either vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. So the vertical, as we saw, is from a higher authority to a lower authority, right? In terms of management, maybe from the top level management to the middle level or to the lower level, right? Or backwards. So it is, it can be downward or upwards. Downward means it's coming from the top authority to the lower authority. And then downward means moving from the lower to the upward, right? And I've given the various uses of these modes of communication, right? You can only communicate upward by seeking clarification, offering suggestions, right? You can't give instructions and use what do you call upward communication. Who are you instructing? You are going to instruct your boss? That's not possible. So instruction is a typical downward communication, right? And grievance and suggestions, seeking clarification is upward communication. So my dear professors, I think we'll pause here. Hopefully when we meet next Friday, we'll look at the horizontal and the diagonal. I think I hinted about the diagonal and the difference between the diagonal and the vertical, right? So the diagonal is superior in one department to a subordinate in another department, or a subordinate in one department to a superior in a different department. So it is the difference in department that brings about this diagonal mode of communication. So thank you very much, professors. I'll share the videos, hopefully, for those who are not able to join. Some have alerted that they had few network challenges, but I'll urge you to, note some of these key terms so that when you meet them anywhere, you can easily maneuver your way around them. So thank you very much. If there are questions, please feel free to ask me in the next couple of minutes. If not, I'll thank you very much for making time for the class. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.